Welcome to Obi-Wan Studios, and today I am super excited to be comparing every single LEGO Star Wars Jabba sail barge build ever. We have the original 2006 one, the updated play scale one from 2013, and then the all-new 2024 Ultimate Collector Series version. I've done reviews on all three of these sets on my channel, so go and check out those reviews if you haven't already. But today we are focusing on the builds and finding out which one of them is the best, and just overall going over comparing a lot of the different details from that original one to the new Ultimate Collector Series version. Alright, so starting off with a size comparison, I lined up all three sets with their engines on the end of my table, and I expected it to be an increasing size with the years, but actually the 2013 one is the smallest out of the three. So here is another angle where you can see the 2013 one is the shortest, followed by the 2006 model, and then of course the UCS version just completely dwarfs the other two, which is to be expected. But the end result of the size comparison might not have been what you'd expected between them, so that's pretty cool to actually see. Now let's dive into the similarities and differences between the three builds. Starting off with our sails, we have cloth sails on the 2006 model. Mine are just very creased from the recent unsealing I did, and then we switched to plastic for 2013 and then back to cloth for the UCS set. Again, mine are a little bit creased for this one too, and now while I like cloth better, I can't help but see the pro for the plastic is how they just keep their shape a lot better. Now, the one kind of caveat here is how the plastic sails did come protected behind cardboard out of the box for the 2013 version, while in 2006, I get that they didn't do things like that back then, but then they also didn't protect them for the UCS set, which is downright shocking. Well, actually not, since time and time again LEGO shows us they can't be bothered to go the extra mile to ensure quality is provided every single time. So for my personal experience, I gotta give the point here to the 2013 one because of this. It has the best looking sails as they've maintained their shape and came out of the box in perfect condition, and I just can't say the other two look better when they both have creases. When it comes to the top deck, we have the tan sand color for 2006, then we have what I believe is actually called sand yellow for 2013, and then dark gray for 2024. None of them look bad, I'd say, but again, consulting Return of the Jedi, it appears to be the same color as the rest of the barge actually, so the 2013 one is probably the most accurate. This actually surprised me that the UCS set didn't get this detail right. Gray probably looks better for a model than the same brown as the rest of the build, but hey, accuracy is accuracy. The railings on the UCS model are just flat out the most accurate compared to the other two, and yes, if you watch my 2006 Jabba sail barge review, I'm still missing that front railing piece. The railings did switch from black to brown, going from the original to the 2013 version, and they certainly do look better on that one compared to the original. As for other features on the top deck, the 2006 model has a hatch, but it is not functional. The 2013 one doesn't have anything, and then the UCS version has three fully functioning hatches that are accurate as well. Then, when it comes to the main laser cannon builds, of course, that UCS model is just the best and most accurate, but I actually prefer the 2006 one over the 2013 style, since this one has flick-fire missiles, which I'm just not a fan of. They're super hard to actually reach and use, and it also has this ugly red Technic pin sticking out of the little cannon build. All three can tilt up and down, showing you guys all here, and they can spin around too. However, while the 2013 and 2024 ones can spin around fully 360 degrees, the 2006 one is stopped by the railing and the rear mast, so it's not fully able to spin all the way around. As for any remaining features for the top deck, the 2006 one has a little launcher for Boba Fett to fly onto the desert skiff right into battle, while the other sets have a smaller blaster cannon that you can attach to the railings, one for the 2013 one and two for the 2024 UCS version. Now, in terms of the actual exterior shaping of the sail barge, it's clearly no contest. The UCS one just looks the best. It's a lot more brick built as well, while the other two use a lot of stickers to add in the details, and that might just be down to your personal preference of which way you like better. Each barge also has functioning windows, pushing from the inside to open them up. None of them give that good of a look at a minifig inside, but for the UCS version, you basically have to place a character in a very specific spot, so at least one of the windows work really at all. All three sail barges also have these steering vanes. On the original model, they are in place and not posable, and then the 2013 one allows them to be posed and moved around. Then the UCS version just has the most refined design and the most accurate looking one with the stickers, and them also being the same color as the rest of the barge. Same goes for the 3-chambered repulsor lift engines. The design is more or less the same on all three and accurate in shape, but the UCS one has the accurate color scheme. Now, to access the interior, we more or less also have the same process for all three. For 2006, the side panels just come down, and I don't believe the top deck is really intended to come off. It's rather difficult to access from the top even if you do take it off. The 2013 one's panels come down too, but this time the top deck is easily removable for better interior access. And then pretty similar to with the 2024 UCS model, the side panels come down first and then the top deck comes off in two separate pieces for a lot of access to its very detailed interior, as we're about to get into. When it comes to the very front of the sail barge, the 2013 version has one play feature that the others do not, and it's how the front lifts up to deploy a cannon. It can also be removed too, which is a pretty cool play feature that they snuck into this one's design at that nose section of the sail barge. When it comes to the UCS version, we have a really great looking cockpit with a lot of detail, this being the only set to have a cockpit at all incorporated into the interior. As for 2006, we just had nothing at all in this spot, and then that cannon section for the 2013 model. All three builds have some sort of armory and prisoner's hold. In 2006, it was very simple with some bars that could come down for a prisoner to escape, and then some extra blasters on the one side. The 2013 version has a more functioning cell with a working door, and then the extra cannon shells stored here too. But of course, the UCS one has a fully designed armory with all sorts of weapons on the wall, a ladder for the characters to access those two front top hatches, and then a cell that is detachable for ease of access, and then a breakaway wall on the back side. Overall, the armory for the UCS set is just incredible looking. Turning to the galleys, for the 2006 model, it is very simple. We have some drumsticks hanging from the ceiling, a frog in a crate with a frying pan on top. It's just overall very basic, but there is not a lot of space to be used in this section. For the 2013 barge, it has that drumstick with a fish as well, a frying pan on the wall, a crate, and then a little stove build too. So a bit of improvement, but again, not a lot of room to add a ton here. But as you are expecting at this point, the UCS galley is just incredible with so much detail packed into it. There are stairs in the middle that go up to the other hatch, but removing those just to give you guys a better look at the galley. I love how each one has a drumstick in it. I think that's pretty funny, along with the frog on the floor as well. That reminds me of that original sail barge. There is so much detail on the wall there with some stickers as well that look so good, but just overall, it's what you'd expect out of a UCS set here. It's just such an incredible interior section. Then we have the main area for each interior, which is essentially the same in function and intention, with a platform for Jabba to be placed on. There's certainly a progression from the 2006 to 2013 versions for the platform for Jabba the Hutt to be placed on. And then for the UCS model, we have a fully built throne for Jabba to have that also you can place Salacious B. Crumb on the backside of. All three also have a chain for Slave Leia to be attached to, and Jabba and Leia look really good in there beside each other in each build with Jabba holding her chain. Of course, the UCS one just takes the cake though. Now, one other similarity that I noticed between the 2006 sail barge and the UCS one while I was making this comparison is that in the UCS one, they have Jabba's pipe that is fully built into the side of his throne. And then on the 2006 one, there is this little translucent green build, which I think is actually supposed to be that pipe, just some sort of build representing it. So pretty cool that they included that in the 2006 version. And then we see obviously the Ultimate Collector's version in the UCS one. Now, when it comes to the rear section of the interior, in the 2006 sail barge, it is just empty, but the 2013's build introduced Max Rebo and his red ball jet organ. For this version, it was just brick built, and he looks pretty good inside. Predictably, however, the UCS-1 is just overall better designed with more accurate interior details in this area as well, and then stickers for Max Rebo's organ too, just for that extra detail and to make it look just more accurate. Now, getting near the end of our comparison, underneath the 2006 sail barge we have just some inverted tiles, while the 2013 one introduced wheels for the sail barge so it moves around on a table very easily, and then the 2024 UCS barge has 3 stands for it. As to be expected, you aren't really supposed to be moving it around like a playset. Now lastly, let's talk about build quality. The 2006 one is a little finicky to say the least. The side panels don't always feel like they want to fit together, and when you try and gently push them a bit more into place so they line up, the back panels tend to then fall off, and it's a process that's repeated for me numerous times between making the review for the set and this comparison. Those back panels especially are very fragile, and then when you put one back on, another one can pop off, so it's not the funnest experience, that's for sure, that I've had with this set. But for an early set, it's also kind of to be expected not to have the most solid build in terms of its construction. The 2013 sail barge does feel a lot more well designed. I have no real complaints with it, and then the UCS one is just, it's perfect. It feels the most sturdy and well built out of all of the 3. Even for a bigger model, I think it definitely has the most swoosh ability, and I just am the most confident in picking it up and transporting it around. And for those of you who are curious, I know we didn't compare the entire sets against each other, just the builds in this comparison, but in terms of price point, the UCS Jabba sail barge retails for $500, the 2013 one is worth about $400 sealed, and the 2006 one is about $630 sealed. So if you don't have a Jabba sail barge build yet and are wanting to pick any one of these up sealed, those are the prices you're looking at spending for each set. But just based on the builds alone and the price point of these sets, the UCS Jabba sail barge, in my opinion, is an absolute no-brainer if you don't own any sail barge set yet. It's the best build, which is a shocking conclusion, I know, but I hope it was still really cool to see these 3 sets compared side by side in what I believe is the first comparison video on YouTube, in fact. I know comparing 2 playscale sets to an Ultimate Collector Series build isn't the fairest comparison, but when you consider that the prices of each set sealed is getting up there, $400 to about $650, you're spending quite a bit of money no matter which one you want to get if you wanted one sealed today. So I think it's still definitely worth that conversation, and at the very least, like I said, just fun to see them all compared side by side and see that progression between the builds to the Ultimate Collector Series version, which really is the most well designed and just, it's in the name, the ultimate version of Jabba sail barge. So thank you guys so much for watching this comparison between all 3 Jabba sail barge builds. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below of which build you actually prefer. Do you have any other points in the comparison that you agree with or maybe disagree with in my comparison analysis? And if you haven't checked out my reviews on all 3 of these sets, go and check out those videos. They'll be linked in the description below, and I'll have lots of comparisons between different minifigs over the years, like Slave Leia, so make sure you're subscribed to my YouTube channel so you don't miss any more comparisons between these sets in their entirety. Thanks again for watching, and we'll see you on the next LEGO Star Wars video.